faster. So 16th notes, you get 4 of them for each quarter note. These are the quarters: 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, if you count the 16th notes. Okay, so so you got the 8th notes: 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. And then if you count 16th notes with these 8th notes, you'll find that you get 4 16th notes for every 2 8th notes, right? 2, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. So when you dot an 8th note, what you're doing is you're making it as if it was the amount of time that 3 16th notes tied together would last. So it's like 1 E and so the 8th note becomes 1 E and. Normally it's like 1 E. It lasts for that amount of time. So you get 1 E and and E and E and like that. And you know, where I'm clapping my hands, and those are the 8th notes, and where I'm counting, you can see how the 16th notes overlap over the 8th notes, right? And then so we take one of those 16th notes and add it to the time of the 8th note. So 1 E and that's a regular 8th note. A dotted 8th note has an extra 16th note worth of time onto it, so it's like 1 E and. So because it lasts that long, I'm not gonna actually be able to play another 8th note on the and spot. It can't come in that soon. It'll be 1 E and. See, if I do that, that's too early. That's making my note too short. So it's got to be 1 E and. The very next place I'm able to play a note is on the 16th note that is of the beat. So 1 E and See, so dotted 8th note lasts 1 E and then you have to play something on the Something has to be there. So it's either going to be a 16th rest or a 16th note. 1 E and So that's what we had in that piece. So 1 E and So let's pretend we have a bunch of I'll show you what I mean. Write this like that. Write this out. I'm writing this out. Like my singing? Neither do I. Okay, so here you have the dotted 8th, 16th figure. Dotted 8th, 16th, dotted 8th, 16th. The reason you know this is an 8th note is because you count this as like the little thing on the 8th note. And when you have, sometimes you see a single 8th note by itself, it's written like that, right? But when you put it together with a 16th note, the little line, squiggly line there just goes across like that. And then to make this a 16th note, you add this extra line. So it's a 16th note. Make sense? So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and. This note lasts for 1 E and, or here 2 E and, right? And this last note is on the 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and Makes sense? So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and So you got to make sure you go right into that next beat and play what's there. So I want you to count out loud. I know it's a little bit harder, but you can do it. I mean, you've done a lot of really difficult stuff that people don't do. after just a little, a couple of years of taking lessons. So, you can do this stuff. You just gotta take your time. Take the metronome and set your metronome at, say, set your metronome at about 50. And count, very deliberately, because you gotta remember to keep counting. Sometimes you forget to count. When you do it, you just eventually just stop counting. But you want to continue to count so that you get used to doing it. And eventually, you see, if you did it every day for a week, for even 5 minutes a day, you'd start to see a difference. It would get easier for you. So, just take 5 minutes at the beginning of your practice and practice the reading like that. Take a really slow tempo on these figures that have the 16th notes in them. And I said this before, but I don't think you've ever called me with any questions, but you should be having questions. If you come to your lesson and there's something you can't play, it means that you missed something. So, through the week, if you have a question, you should call me or send me an email or something. But it's probably better to call me, because, and if you don't reach me when you call me, then you go ahead and email me, because sometimes I can explain something to you better by phone than I can by email, because I can demonstrate, because you can hear everything. So, again, in quick review, a half note is 2 beats, but if you put a dot on the half note, it makes it 3 beats, and it lasts for 3 beats. So if you had like a clarinet or something, you could tell the difference more readily. So regular half note would be 3 and 4 and ba 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 ba. So it lasts for that whole 2 quarter notes, right? If I put a dot on the half note, it's da da. If you do the same thing with quarter notes, you get quarter notes are ba 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 ba. If you put a dot on the quarter notes, you get ba 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 ba. So if you do a quarter note, a dotted quarter, 8th note figure, it would be ba 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 ba. So moving down to smaller notes, if you get to the 8th notes, then the 8th notes would be da da but a dotted 8th note, ba 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 ba, and I'm counting the 16th notes in my head, to give me the proper length of that note. The thing that's different about the drums is you don't, the notes don't sustain, so you don't get that. You just hit the note and then that's it. But then that brings us to this figure. Ba 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 ba. Okay, well, I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you need some further explanation. I'm kind of doing this on the fly, but because I wanted you to have something that you could kind of refer back to. So I'll talk to you soon. All right, have fun.